Nice little video there, just giving us an overview of the previous team, Helsinki Reds, who unfortunately fell to, Team Netherlands. And now we have Vivi's Adventure. So, they're still a fairly young team, I guess. 6 months old and so on. But them all being from the same country, I think it's something that we've seen quite a bit happen in Counter-Strike, where teams are now starting to lean towards, and I think Overwatch is following that this concept of being from the same region, to avoid any communication issues and cultural barriers, and they think that that's leading to kind of better outcomes for them, which I think is being supported by Blizzard, with their Overwatch League, and they're trying their focus on a more local competition where it's tied to a city and countries with the World Cup.
Yeah, so I can see already Ebzizi being invited to the room. So that's the guy that I wanted to point out the most on the lineup. But as the video said, there are 5 players plus 1 stand-in. It necessarily isn't the same every single time out there. So I was wondering if he's actually going to be playing in here. But yeah, they are dominating the online scene apparently. And overall, just looking at the names, they seem like a very strong asset to have in Europe overall. And it's really going to be hard to take them down. They also have some accomplishments, and it's exactly like on the other teams. Like on Netherlands, you have MountainDew and Too Easy, you have Crusade and Dante. So like a lot of notable names. And of course, not skipping the other guys. These are just the ones that come to mind. On Helsinki Reds, you've got BBR Crimer, most importantly, though. And right here, you've got Ebzizi. So he's the man that was also playing right there on the biggest stages with all the flashlights and stuff. So I'll be looking forward to seeing him play.
Yeah, for sure. It'd definitely be interesting. I'm excited to see how WhoAreThey perform. Like we said, they're known, they qualified for this tournament, and it'll be interesting to see how they perform against a more established team like Vivi's Adventure. One of the great things about the Legend Series, it gives opportunities to up-and-coming teams to kind of challenge more established teams and gain that tournament experience, both online and in a LAN setting. So here we go. Here we have the band. So is that Watchpoint, Gibraltar? I can't see. Nepal and Lijiang Tower? What's the last one? Is it Voskaya?
What?
The bands. Can you see the pick of bands?
Yeah, I can see the picks and bans, but you were talking about picks, so you mentioned 3 picks, and then you're saying what's the last one? I'm kind of confused.
Yeah, I'm just trying to confirm because I can't see too well.
Yeah, it's Lijiang Tower, Watchpoint, Gibraltar, and Nepal. So
okay.
That's what will be played, and Lijiang Tower is picked as the first map. There is a big chance that we'll actually see 2 King of the Hills picked up, and yeah, with the huge possibility of this going 2-0. That could be where the game ends. But Watchpoint Gibraltar also was in the pool yesterday, but was not picked because it was left as the 3rd map, unfortunately. And I would love to see that. So maybe the loser will actually decide to pick this one up. But yeah, as some people might know, I'm Polish, and it's a Polish team playing right there. I'm fully aware that they're probably going to get destroyed, but I'm saying to them, come on, guys, just demolish them, right? And they're like, easy.
I'm sure they will. We'll see how it goes. It's definitely going to be exciting to see. So, do you have any picks that you expect to see in the map? Anything unusual that the teams might pull out?
It's tough to say, really, but they could go for something crazy. Yeah, I mean, they have to surprise, so they've got nothing to lose, and they still have the losers bracket. So if it doesn't work out, they have another chance.
Absolutely. So, well, here's something. You've casted a lot of teams and so on in professional tournaments. With teams that aren't expected to win, are maybe much more inexperienced than their opponents, do you think it's advantageous for them to pull out unexpected combos and tactics within the meta to surprise their opponent who might be looking for something much more traditional? Or do you think it's better that they stick to the meta and just play the game?
Yeah, it is kind of easier. I'm gonna first touch on a little bit of a different thing. Like, first of all, as I mentioned when I was trying to look into WhoAreThey, they don't even have any recent matches in their history. They do have like a ranking, but if you don't see the matches, then you don't know what based on the ranked actually. So it's very easy for them to research Vivi's adventure. They just go into whatever kind of site they can watch their matches, watch their tournaments on every single map, and for a huge variety of situations. So it's going to, first of all, be easy for them to kind of read the standard, although it doesn't mean that they can overpower it with raw skill because they might be weaker or less experienced, but also it might be easier for them to pull off something completely unexpected. And that's the most important thing. Like, over my career casting Overwatch tournaments, I've rarely seen the favorites disrespect the underdogs. I've rather seen actually as the underdogs experimenting a lot and bringing out something completely unexpected in order to try and take down the favorites.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, there's opportunities there. And when you're looking at a best of three, there's different kind of tactics that come into play of like, are you one down? Is it the first match? Is it the final match? And the kind of opportunities to pull out something crazy, unexpected, or play the meta and kind of, there's a lot of mind games, I believe, in that. In, when we talk about a best of three, if it falls down to a one all and we're on the third map, it can really go either way, and whilst the teams have a read of one another, there is still the opportunity to pull out something completely unexpected and, in a way, trick the other team or make them stumble. And because it's a final match, it's a winner takes all, so it's actually, in a way, a best of one after that, at that point when it's 1-1. So be interesting to see, but here we are. I think we're entering the game, so we'll be seeing soon. Do you think it will be as dominant a start for VV Adventures as it was for Helsinki Reds? Or do you think they need a little bit of time to warm up like Team Netherlands?
I think it might be like the second option that you mentioned, but also it will be a little bit different than the previous matches that we've seen because it is a King at Hill map. So it's going to be like much easier for the Poles. They're going to have the chances to actually get a shot at taking the point over for a little bit of time. They win one team fight, they can get a little bit percentage. Like, these maps usually are quite long, so not only is it maybe a little bit of warm-up time that Vivi's Adventure might need right here, but this map is also much less forgivable than the ones that we already watched.
Yep, for sure. It will definitely be interesting to see how
things
go. I'm interested to see who they end up picking. There was a Sombra, but she was swapped out there. So here we have the map coming up. Teams are basically mirrored as far as I can tell. So it'll be interesting to see how they sit on that. Here we go. The push in.
The WhoAreThey have actually 4 DPS mains, judging by their competitive statistics, or 1 DPS guy that plays a lot of D.Va too, so yeah, he's the D.Va. But overall, I was wondering if they're going to go for the 3 DPS comp with a Sombra out there, but no, one guy decided to step down, play the Zenyatta of his, and let's see, it does not end up too well this far. The team fight's completely lost, and you can see everybody just jumping around, not only Mumbanti on this tracer of his, but they're just sweeping the floor for now with WhoAreThey. But it doesn't mean that it has to look like that all the time. It's just a standard beginning this far. It was not a complete stump for sure in this fight.
No, not at all. It was, a little bit back and forth, and Vivi's Adventure definitely got the advantage there. But it wasn't too dominant on one end or the other. And as we've seen, there are definitely opportunities for teams to turn around and take things back. So here we have Henzu on his Genji, and as you were saying, it's a bit worrying, but they're locking them into spawn.
Yeah, that's the thing. The first team fight was not so horrible. Even Rafex got much more ultimate charge off of his tracer out there than Mumbati, and Mumbati was dominating that fight completely. But after they lost the second one, now it's just turning into a living hell for WhoAreThey.
Yeah, God, that was just another 4 people wiped, and they're respawning. But Vivi's Adventure have locked down the capture point and already at 50%. You've got to be questioning whether they'll be able to do anything, whether WhoAreThey be able to step back in.
And Pharah and Mercy is possible on this map very much. You can corner around the buildings, you can come in from unexpected angles. Right now, as you say, it's gauging up to to 70%, so it would be useful to just have someone come through the backline to take that point, at least for a moment, to make the enemies feel endangered a little bit, because right now they're just having fun. It's a playground for them. They're demolishing everybody, and they still have many of their ults. There's a Transcendence for FCZ if they ever feel endangered indeed, and Hentu and Mombati are holding on to the offensive ults. That's the Dragon Blade and Pulse Bomb.
Yeah, no, they're holding on to it, and we can see like 3 members of Vivis Adventure have their ultimates. 2 of them are on fire. The damage coming out, and no one is able to just. There's a Transcendence to try and capture the point somewhat, but they've managed to stick it and get 3 kills, and there we go. 4 people are now down on WhoAreThey. I expected something a little bit more than this, but this was just a complete stomp.
Yep. Was one good shot when they actually jumped in, when Salida jumped in on his Genji into the point, was just strafing around right there, was just trying to take it over. He was then later joined in by some of his teammates, but as soon as the Transcendence was over, they got eaten up by exactly the Dragon Blade and the Pulse Bomb that they've been holding on to.
Yeah, no, that was I'm a little bit shocked. I expected something, and as you said, they could have gone for the Pharah Mercy, but they were completely shut down and shut out there. I'm actually even wondering whether they managed to get double-digit kills. Apart from that first initial skirmish where I think they got 2 or 3 kills. After that, it was just picking off 1 or 2 people individually. So it really was. It'd be interesting to see how things happen now. We have a Sombra on WhoAreThey, so. I wonder how Solidny will end up using that. And a Soldier 76 on Kobe, so that's a very good one. Big Papa's on Winston, but he's already below half health. He's now, looks like he's about to get eliminated. Yep, there goes Big Papa. Vivo just managed to take him out with the Diva. But Zenyatta is down on Vivi's Adventure, so there is a opportunity to kind of equalize things, but nope, there we go. Mombati is able to jump in and take out someone else, and we had 4 down.
I was wondering where Sombra was, but he actually finally shows up. Got 2 kills this far. Bronx is going to be able to bring down the Mecha, but no kill on the Diva right after. Kobe joining in, back alive, and they're actually taking down many of the enemy players, and that could mean that they can take over the point without, first of all, Vivi's Adventure even capturing it. So that's going to be the percentage counting to their advantage. It's hard to expect that they will be able to hold on to it for a long time, but it's already something, and just as I said, on the King of the Hill, it's going to be much easier for them to do anything, actually, because yes, taking that point does not require as much effort as it would be, for instance, defending a payload, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. I was quite impressed by Solidny's Sombra, and you can see that he's still pumping out. He just got a kill and an assist, but we have Mombati around the back causing a lot of trouble at the moment, and Epsa on his Zenyatta, just keeping an eye out, charging up the orbs to eliminate some of the squishier targets to try and push in. WhoAreThey are showing quite a bit of resilience here. Managed to jump in, haven't let the first map get to them too much. They've used this Sombra very well to gain control, but here's Transcendence to try and take over the point again for Vivi's Adventure and steal it away from WhoAreThey. It'll be interesting to see if they're successful. They're definitely getting a couple of kills, 2 down, and if we look at it, they have 4 ultimates out on Vivi's Adventure, so we'll be seeing how they use it. 5 now, so everyone apart from Zenyatta has their ultimate, and we're swapping over to Tracer to see the damage that she might be able to output. So she's definitely picking them away. They're contesting the point, but have to wait and see if they're able to actually eliminate them and control it, or whether WhoAreThey is going to take this back.
And some offensive ults have come in for for Vivi's Adventure. They were able to pick the entirety of the enemy team apart, and I think it was actually 2 Dragon Blades in one team fight, kinda. He jumped in with a Dragon Blade and then closed out the team fight with a Dragon Blade for Henry right there, so he's able to charge it up extremely quickly, and right now the dominance just simply begins. But still not a bad try, even when finally Vivi's Adventure grouped up and went in for that point. They've not given up on it too easily. Solidin once again just doing his job as that Sombra, and that makes me go back to the first point where I said that they have 3 or 4 DPS mains, and I thought that they would be going for that 3 DPS comp, but they didn't. And now we can see that it pays out, so maybe it was a big mistake to just not try it on the night market.
Yeah, the thing is, we just see the confidence that Vivi's Adventure have in the team. Once they managed to grab control of the point, they didn't sit on it or sit back. They all pushed forward to try and
Ooh.
control the spawn point. But that was quite a nice little ulti from Bronx using his Diva. So they are now trying to take control of it. Rafix is darting around and doing a little bit of damage on his Tracer, so it'll be interesting. And yes, they managed to take control of the point. But this is where, if we look at WhoAreThey, they're definitely sitting further back. They take control of the point and they're sitting in that central area. Whereas Vivi's Adventure, when they got control of the point, they all pushed up to try and spawn lock WhoAreThey in their base. I think it's a confidence in the different teams, and we're just seeing the damage that can come out. And we have Dragon Blade coming out of Henzu. Is he going to? It just looks like it's just going to be wasted a little bit. Yep, he didn't really do anything with it at all. But we're swapping over to Solidny's Sombra. That has impressed me so far.
Yeah, it's been solid, as his nickname says, for sure. But Kobe is going to try to just pack all the bullets into the defense matrix of Elevote, and that's a little bit of a problem. This far, the Diva from the Polish team was completely on point, and the self-destructs worked out 2 times in a row until the point where Elevote's self-destruct actually killed 1 person. Then they were able to completely dominate once again, just close them out in their own entrance room. And actually, Diva breaks through. That's gonna be Bronx, and also probably a Big Papa jumping into the point. The EMP goes off, and they might have a chance. Yes, they do have this point taken over already. No, actually, there's still Henzu flying around, and Celine is battling it out with Bumbati's Tracer, who just jumps into the point once again, trying to ignore Celine. But is it the right idea? The teleport once again comes through. Celine saves himself from dying, from falling out from the platform. And yes, all the situation that's happening on the point itself is completely mind-blowing and exciting, but also out there on the balcony, a lot of stuff's happened.
I think this is it. We're 4 down now on WhoAreThey, so I don't see them coming back from it. But it was definitely a great push. And are we managing it? No, they're not. There we go. And that's it. Vivi's Adventure. But WhoAreThey definitely showed their ability to kind of come back into the game then. It was much more impressive than the first match, or first round rather. So okay, 1-0 to Vivi's Adventure, not to be unexpected, but I think WhoAreThey definitely showed some confidence, and so we'll be able to see how things go. Doesn't look like too many changes on the side of Vivi's Adventure. They're quite comfortable with their team comp. So Mumbati and Henzu were doing a lot of damage, which was very interesting. And I think WhoAreThey need to learn how to kind of stop that. If they do have 4 DPS players, as they do, maybe it's not the best way to just go DPS against DPS. They need to think a little bit more about their team comps and how they can counter.
Yeah, now they're going for the Farm Mercy finally, and the question is, how well will Vivi's Adventure be able to shut it down? Because they don't have like a real hero that counters it completely. They don't have a soldier, they don't have a McCree that even people were decided to go for yesterday. So is it going to be enough to just have the Zenyatta? Is the Diva going to be aggressively jumping straight into the Pharah, or what's it going to look like? Or maybe even Henzu with the deflector biz as he was trying right now. Well, anyway, Rapex is on the offense with his Tracer, trying to charge up the ultimate. And as I said, on the first point, he charged it up quicker than the enemy Tracer, but now he just gets cut down by the Genji. Points taken over. The first team fights won. The Tracer, the Pharah and Mercy were delivering the damage, but nobody seemed to really have been bothered by them. They seem to just ignore the aerial heroes.
Well, they did. They started out by doing a bit of damage, and then I think it was Mumbati came from the side and was able to delete them basically off the map. They've come back, and we're seeing if they're able to do that damage. It's it's definitely that she's putting it out, but like you said, it doesn't seem to be having too much of an impact. Finally, they get 2 people down on Vivi's Adventure, but Webster and Rafix are already dead on WhoAreThey, so it'll be interesting to see can they push forward. Now, Solid is on the point. Is he going to be able to cap it? Just a good justice from Reigns from above to kind of capture, but then he goes down himself. And I'm not sure they're going to be able to convert this.
A little bit unlucky, Henzu just cut through with the Swift Strike, and he was not able to aim at him with the Rocket Barrage just in time, but it could have been it. could have been the kill right there, the double, the point capture, but now they're forced back again. But yeah, as you said, I was wondering if the D.Va is going to be jumping in aggressively into the Pharah, and she was, but she didn't soak up the damage with the defense matrix, actually. She just got demeched and Elevote right after he just had to fall.
I'm just loving the aggressiveness of Vivi's adventure and the way that they're controlling the tempo. You know, once they get the point, they just push forward and try to keep the other team. And look at this Dragon Blade coming out of Henzu. It's not on the stream right now on Fridge. Trace is trying to get a nice flank. I wonder if Rafix is going to be able to convert it or not. He's just hovering on the side there, waiting for his opportunity. Getting a bit of damage on Winston, but that's not exactly the ideal target. We're now on to Winston. Is Winston going to be able to push forward? Or...
Yeah, Big Papa manages to jump in, but not for long. However, he allows the rest of the team to come through as everybody was focused on him to just kill him off before he manages to trigger that overtime. And then Lucio can be very, very annoying on this point, especially as he's just climbing the walls right here running around. Sometimes you can't even follow him with your eyesight, and well, also the Genji joining in, Selena trying to deliver the damage. He's got the Discord Orb on him, but a good deflect. However, right after the deflect's over, he is just as good as dead. And this is going to be the 3-0 on Lijiang Tower. Now the question is, what kind of decision WhoAreThey want to make? Because they can either go for Watchpoint Gibraltar, where there is a chance that they might not even be able to take the first point, or they might go for Nepal and then try to at least get one in the BO5 there.
Yeah, I mean, they've definitely gone, and you know, this 3-0 is very quick, and you know, it showed WhoAreThey was showing a bit of life in the second one, but it definitely not enough to kind of impress me. Mbati had a very strong game. I think he had 44 kills in that last match there, so WhoAreThey just need to recompose themselves, kind of decide what's going to happen, what their team comp is, and give it an opportunity second time round. I'm not sure what they were doing with the DPS was working out for them. I feel that VVs were doing the same thing but better and countering it very well. So hopefully WhoAreThey will have the kind of depth to their roster to be able to try something different and maybe bring something new out. But I will say that I was very impressed by Solid's Sombra play on the second map. I think he was very key. He, you know, quite a few times he was playing on that knife's edge of doing a lot of damage, but then getting away with small slivers of health. So be interesting if they pick that up again.
Alright, so that's going to be Watchpoint Gibraltar. Actually, I really think that it would be much more likely for WhoAreThey to achieve something on Nepal, but maybe it's just a map that they don't like. Maybe they have something perfect prepared for Watchpoint Gibraltar. And also, it's going to be the first time that we see Watchpoint Gibraltar in the Legend series. Yesterday was not played, so it's also a good opportunity. So
it's going to be interesting to see, because the thing is, we've seen an escort map and game type, I think, actually favors VV's adventure quite a bit with their aggressiveness. Whenever they've gotten an advantage, they haven't rested on it. They've then pushed in and made sure that they limit the breathing room of the other team of WhoAreThey, and they haven't allowed them to, in those two shutout games, VV's adventure took an advantage and then just never let WhoAreThey get it back. And when it's an escort map, it can be very difficult for the other team to kind of counter that and deal with it. So, like you say, I'm not entirely sure if this was the right pick, but we'll have to wait and see.
I mean, after all, if you don't like Nepal and you know that you're going to be crushed in Gibraltar, then there is no right pick.
Yeah. That's very true, but I think that's a very. I'm hoping that WhoAreThey don't have that mentality, because you know that if that's how they're coming into the games, then it's going to be very hard for them mentally to kind of come back. As you know, before the tournament was even starting, we were saying at the start of the game, you know, anything can happen, and you definitely have people who have come out and just played on top of their game. They've just been on fire and have taken out more established and experienced teams. So WhoAreThey shouldn't write themselves off, and I'm really hoping they're not defeating themselves mentally. And hopefully they'll be able to at least take a point.
That's the thing. Unfortunately, that puts us in this mindset, but really this the lineup in this group is just so strong. I feel like it's a little bit of a crime to put WhoAreThey in here and just expect that they're going to do much. But let them try. There's also some valuable experience that you can face off against the players that were in the top of Overwatch. And,
exactly, and you know, as the people always say, the best way to get better is to play against the best and to push yourself. So regardless, I'm sure this is a great experience, and you know, as we've said and I've said before, is I think that's one of the biggest advantages and the greatest things about the Legends series, that anyone can participate, and it gives you an opportunity to get to play in an organized team environment, competitive environment that you might not normally be used to, and that really helps you take that jump from playing in solo to this team competitive environment.
Yeah, for now, payload's being pushed pretty far, actually. The Vivis Adventure defending team are not yet able to stop the WhoAreThey lineup just yet, actually. Elephant is right in the face, and he's got the Harmony ult, so he's going to be healed up. But what an aggressive push from Solida! Actually did not expect that at all. Enzo brings down Bronx's mecha, and that's going to hurt a lot. They really needed that D.Va. That D.Va was very effective also on Legion Tower on many occasions. The pulse bomb slightly misses, and they're not yet even able to take down that Winston, so he survives way too long. And the team fight started looking real good for them until the moment they all focused on Winston and still didn't kill him.
Yeah, I'm amazed. WhoAreThey really came out with a bang, and Solid's just showing up again today. I think he seems to be the player to watch on WhoAreThey. So close, but unfortunately, the Vivis Adventure match to turn that around a little bit, and now we're just waiting to see. I wonder if this is going to be where they get stuck, and is nothing going to happen. Henzo on that Soldier 76 in a nice Overwatch position. Unintended pun there. But just putting a few shots. I think solid on that Hanzo. It'll be interesting to see what he's able to do. But Mombadi kind of nipping in behind, and there we go. We have that Dragon Blade. Is he able to kill? But we're swapping over to Henzo and going one-to-one with it. And back to Mombadi doing out damage and putting out the bomb. But it doesn't look like they're able to get anyone.
Just when Solid jumped in with his Dragon Blade, Traffic started doing a lot of damage with his Tracer. Actually, a lot of people focused right there. It was just one Genji throwing away 3 people. It made it a 5v3 situation on the payload, and that made them probably capture the points. Elbow, oh no, we can survive a long time with that defense matrix in here. 4 meters still left out there. There is a good ultimate, the self-destruct to take down a Tracer. That will be very important too. The mecha is not available to Bronx now. He finally gets it. Big Papa and Solid are getting killed all over the place again. Actually, that was just a mecha takedown from the Genji. And that's a little bit unfortunate because it's the third time he dives in, and the only thing that he was able to achieve was take down a mecha. FCZ even killed off against the wall right off the screen by Winston, him being the last kill in the entirety of the deep, but the first point is taken, and they're pushing out pretty far. Actually, they're getting a little bit of map control right here, which gives them a chance to maybe get half of the second one before once again Vivis Adventure regroup.
Yeah, that was very well played by WhoAreThey. You know, they didn't panic and they played their team comp. It took them quite a bit of time. You know, Vivis Adventure, even when they died, when they lost 3 or 4 teammates, they were still able to hold things back. But Big Papa came up big and managed to get a triple kill, I think, at the end there, and that was really what secured the point. And now pushing forward, Solid again on his. It just unfortunately gets taken out, and we're swapping over to Henzo, he's been doing a lot of damage. Him and Mombati in the past 2 games have just been outputting so much DPS, which is exactly what you want.
My
but
goodness.
I wonder, is this going to be it?
Happening right here. WhoAreThey are just so relentless. They don't care about team fights. There are no team fights for them. They get 3 or 4 people, they pick the target, and they just chase it down until it dies. And
yeah, well, Bronx and this DVA is
just
Bronx was just chasing down Henzo at the end there, and you know, it's really interesting to see. He's actually been a completely new player on this D.Va, and there we go, another 2 for 2. So it remains to be seen what's going to happen. But look at the damage he's able to put out, and Big Papa jumping around. I feel like WhoAreThey, you know, props to them. They look like a completely different team. So I understand now why they picked this escort map. And as you said, if they have the strategy for it, and they seem to, because they're definitely pushing the payload forward.
Okay then, so now I definitely can see why Salita always wants to jump in like that Genji in here. He's very unsuccessful, but very luckily, thanks to him, the rest of the team is able to do as they please. And that's something that Vivis Adventure, it's hard for them to adapt to it actually. Webster right on the point, so with the sound barrier, getting a lot of shields. He's got the support from Rafix, but they're not able to take down the D.Va alone. And now the roles completely swap. When they focus a little bit on the payload, the Vivis Adventure line just clean out the rest of their team so that there's nobody to support them. They had no tank right there. It was just about the Lucio with the Tracer on the payload. When the sound barriers ran out, of course, they did not have any HP to survive it.
No, that was 5 dead, and no one was lost on Vivi's Adventure side. So, you know, it's a great defense, but here we go. They're using the ultimates to see what they can do. But Henzo hasn't died despite 2 people jumping into his face, and he's still putting out the damage and now running away. Will he live? Looks like it. And only 1 person has died on Vivi's Adventure, whereas 2 just died, 1 just came back. Webster's still dead. Just look at that damage that Henzo's able to put out. There we go. He just managed to eliminate Big Papa and locking the team out in the back there. You know, it just looks like once again Vivi's Adventure feeling very comfortable and just taking control of the map and not letting WhoAreThey push forward. But we have seen WhoAreThey near the end push it. But look at this. The ultimate comes out, the visor comes out, the damage being pumped. And that is it.
Yeah, Henzo is just so hard to catch up to. That's the thing. The soldier, you were mentioning him over and over again in every single teamfight that he's dishing out the damage. That's true. Nobody ever could catch up to him. His positioning was perfect, and it was not like easy positions where anybody could jump in. It was actually hard ones, and additionally protected by his tanks, etc. Always FZZ was ready to send in a barrage of his golden nuts that he's got right there on the Nutcracker skin, and yeah, everybody just got taken down as soon as they got to Henzo. So he was the key player that allowed them to finish off WhoAreThey, but overall WhoAreThey, they had a good idea, and I'm glad that we got to see a round where they weren't so bad.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They definitely stepped up, and it shows the talent of the team that has qualified for Legend Series. Now, I'm not sure that they're going to win it, but I'm definitely excited to see what they have on defense, because if this is how good they were on offense, you know, how are they going to react in defense? But Vivi's Adventure, if we're looking a bit further down, you know, the way they're playing around Henzo, and he was, you know, I was calling him out a lot, but his map movement was really great in that second phase, sitting on top of the ship and running around. And, you know, there was quite a few people from WhoAreThey who would try to challenge him 2v1 and so on. Bronx on the D.Va particularly kept on trying to chase after him, but wasn't able to catch him because of his swift map movements. He was able to read the play in advance, and the rest of Vivi's team was able to jump in and protect him.
Alright, so 10 seconds left. The defenders must already have the heroes that they want to really go for, and it's Rafix on a Zarya, Reinhardt for Big Bubba. There is only Lucio as the healer, a D.Va, 3 tanks combined, Selena playing in a Sombra, and Kobe for a Soldier 76. A little bit of an old school lineup when I see the Reinhardt and a Zarya in one team.
Yeah, and with the Sombra as well, so a solid on Sombra was very interesting, and I thought played it very well in the previous match, so it'll be interesting to see what he's able to do this one. Mumbani, I think I'm not even sure if he knows that there are other characters in the game so far. All he's been playing is Tracer, but I definitely understand why, because he's been doing so well with it. And just look at this, darting in this damage from behind, constantly playing it to the limits of what it's able to do.
Yeah, there's the Reaper for Elevo too, and he's just crushing through these tanks, and that's a little bit unlucky for WhoAreThey, because they got completely outplayed right here. They decided to go for the Reinhardt for the Zarya. They wanted to just hold down this one passage to hold on the payload, but they were attacked by a mobile cop, by a Tracer and Genji, so Reinhardt had to like completely spin 360 non-stop. And then also, when the Reaper jumped in, it was already over pretty much with the Winston. So I don't think that their team comp meshed real well with what the Vivis adventure have gone for.
No, but but it's a bit odd because who are they? This is something I think if they lose this, which unfortunately it looks like they won't be able to be able to get that win overall. But they should definitely look back and reflect on this because Vivi have been very consistent in their team comps and what they've been choosing. Lalish has been on Winston, Mabami, on Tracer, Hensu, on either Genji or Soldier. So there is it's a breed that and predictability that they should be aware of and should have something kind of in place to be able to counter.
Finally, MP enables WhoAreThey to finally do something. Rafix is getting quite a couple of kills once again. Yeah, I feel like this Tracer is getting the most credit for what's happening around here. Always landing the killing blow. And here we are, Selene just trying to charge up his ultimate, trying to hack up the health packs right here. They need to win another team fight if they really want to get a shot at doing anything in here. But there's the self-destruct with the Dragon Blade and all the mayhem going down in here. Also, just send this right on top of it. The payload is reaching the point with the Death Blossom right on top from Elevote. The Death Blossom at the end of the day didn't do anything at all. So Reaper's ultimate, that's just such an iconic thing, wasn't really needed. But the Reaper's firepower right in the face of a Reinhardt surely was. And it will be a quick 2-0 Vivi's adventure. They take it home. They will be going on towards the winner's bracket match to face off against Team Netherlands, who are very good at making the comebacks. That we know for sure.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Here we go. This is Hensu up top, just putting this damage. And as I was saying, this is a great example that I think worthwhile lots of people to watch. Just his positioning up here and the way he was using the map to escape from multiple attackers, whether that was going in the ship, going to the left to the health pack, or actually swooping back to the staircase to run away from a diva from Brooks that was very aggressive. I definitely think WhoAreThey should feel happy with that because the initial match or game was such a shutout, but they managed to show some form of life in the second match, sorry, and then in the second game they also managed to put up much more of a fight. But there's a lot of things that they can learn from this, but we'll see how they progress. They still have another opportunity. They could drop down. They'll be facing off against the Helsinki Reds. Solid definitely should impress me with his Sombra pay. The next match, though, like as you said, is Team Netherlands versus Vivi's Adventure. That'll be very interesting. Hopefully Netherlands won't need to warm up again. So they should be coming in warm and ready to control the tempo. But Vivi's Adventure were just so aggressive against WhoAreThey. And it'll be interesting to see if they're able to use that same playstyle against Netherlands.
Yeah, Netherlands versus Vivi's Adventure is definitely going to be an intense one. And right now we're going to get a good look at how Netherlands actually rank up between Helsinki Reds and Vivi's Adventure, or are they going to be on the level of Vivi's Adventure right here very much? But I'm more interested about this losers brackets match, or maybe not interested, but I kind of know what we'll see right there, since on this watch point Gibraltar, it was real hard to stop Vivi's Adventure at all, and we saw how Helsinki Reds were effective on the bunny. Yep. WhoAreThey might be losing all 3 points right away if they start defending first. But yeah, that's what's coming next up. Now, Team Netherlands versus Vivi's Adventure, that's what we'll be seeing. And that definitely will be a little bit of an indicator of what might happen in the grand finals too. Although I'm not necessarily sure if Helsinki Reds, if they face up against Netherlands again, wouldn't they be able to win? Because they definitely got a great shot. So the option is there.
Yeah. I think I'm definitely thinking. I think Vivi's Adventure would look more aggressive, but it's a little bit difficult to predict. When you have Vivi's Adventure against a team like WhoAreThey, who wasn't able to put that much of a fight, it does make Vivi's look that much more dominant. But at the same time, Team Netherlands, I felt, was so dominant once they warmed up, and they really never gave Helsinki the opportunity to breathe. So it'll be interesting to see how things go. What will be interesting is how are Helsinki Reds going to react to WhoAreThey and WhoAreThey to Helsinki Reds? Because we saw, like you said, some live from WhoAreThey near the end there. They showed us that they can play escort maps very well. So I wonder if Helsinki will just ban that out and won't give them that opportunity, or will they allow kind of give them that breathing room and will have a much closer matchup and potentially an upset.
Yeah, but the thing is, actually, on the offense, it worked out perfectly fine for them when they're playing the standard lineup.
Yeah.
And when they tried to experiment a little bit, they got crushed. So that's the thing. Before the match, we were talking about how WhoAreThey can surprise with something new. But instead, it turned out that the standard is so much better for them than any experiments. But yeah, for now, I think we'll be headed into the break, right?
Yep. 5-minute break at the moment. And we'll be back where we'll be going in Vivis Adventure against Team Netherlands.